NFTs were all the rage in the last couple of years, but is the hype dying down? This month, NFT sales could fall below $1 billion for the first time this year, according to a report from DappRadar, a Web3 app distribution platform. The report attributes the change to traders selling NFT holdings for a loss to get in on the meme coin frenzy. But in Indianapolis, NFT stands are gathered at VCon 2023, a multi-day conference featuring discussions and performances with leaders in Web3, business, and pop culture. I saw Jordan Sparks on that lineup. Here to discuss the conference, consumer behaviors, and innovations like AI is the creator and host of VCon, Gary Vaynerchuk, chairman of VaynerX. All right, Gary V, as we all know you, I follow you on Twitter. Everybody follows you on Twitter. First, let's just talk about the conference. I see you have some heavy hitters in the lineup. You started yesterday. What's been the vibe like, if you will?
Look, I think the cool thing about what we're doing here and what we've been doing from day one is we're building on something I've been doing for 15 years, which is practical positivity, right? Positivity, optimism matters, but you can't be delusional, and operations matter, and the results matter, and merit matters. And I think that's the blend that we've got here. So yesterday was phenomenal. The weather was great in Indy, thank God. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people on a field day doing different events. And the lineup is just outrageous of the 130 speakers that we have at the conference over the next 2 days here in the stadium at Lucas Oil. So far, so good.
All right. I want to ask you really quickly about Twitter. As I mentioned, I follow you on Twitter. Twitter has new leadership coming in, recently announced this week. Over at the WPP, they said Twitter no longer is high risk after this new chief is appointed. What's your thought about Twitter now?
It hasn't really changed. I really didn't see Twitter as a high risk for advertisers based on consumer behavior. Obviously, some people that are writing the checks may not like or agree with things that Elon does, and then thus rendering them not wanting to advertise. But obviously, Linda comes in with as much equity in ad land as there can be. And she's been a remarkable innovator and executive in the traditional media space. And now what she's done for championing brands spending money on TV commercials, she'll be doing for Twitter. And she was highly effective in her old role. And to WPP's stance, I fully agree. There's not going to be a single brand that's going to be concerned to spend on that platform. So from that standpoint, I think it's a win. And that's how I see it.
All right. And I want to talk to you about another social media platform, TikTok. We had news out this week that Montana is applying a ban on TikTok. What does that signal to you about the status of TikTok in America?
A little bit above my pay grade, because really what we're talking about here is states or the government, the federal government, deciding that an app that is owned by a Chinese company is got so much information that's detrimental to our society. It's impossible for me to speak on that, given that I don't see what they see. What I know is that I am not overly emotional about any platform. You know, when Vine is hot, I'm marketing there. When Facebook's hot, I'm marketing there. It's kind of like running commercials on Seinfeld. When it's the #1 TV show, you run ads. When it's not there anymore, you run it somewhere else. So attention will ebb and flow. But to answer you directly, it's just, we're talking about banning something because they're spying on us. That's a much bigger thing than marketing.
I understand, Gary. And I know you're saying it's above your pay grade, but I don't think it is, in the sense that you really have your finger on the pulse of just social media in general and connecting with people in general using a variety of platforms. And I think you've talked before about like really not putting all your eggs in one basket, because think about once upon a time, I mean, MySpace was kind of the OG. Right?
Yeah, from that standpoint, I mean, the biggest issue of 3 years ago was I was yelling at people to go on TikTok, but they were cozy on Instagram, and then they regretted not doing it because they lost their relevancy. To your point, if TikTok was to be banned in America, that attention goes somewhere else. Is that going to be Instagram? I'm not so sold, because the form of content that needs to be successful, I would argue that YouTube Shorts feels extremely native. People are not paying attention to what's happening on Facebook Reels right now. A lot of marketers, especially the youngsters that are watching this, don't even have a Facebook. Meanwhile, Facebook Reels right now is one of the best underpriced attention places for the brands that are watching this show right now. So yeah, from that standpoint, I've got lots of thoughts.
All right. And it's so funny, to your point, they talked about that in their recent earnings call. Mark Zuckerberg talked about the Reels and how they're taking off, and they haven't really figured out how to monetize that aspect of the business because, yeah, it's hard to, I guess, integrate the ads within the Reels.
Well, and for everyone who's listening, especially this kind of audience, that means there's still opportunity to get organic reach. So while platforms have something explode from attention and they haven't thrown their full ad capabilities against it, what is happening there is an opportunity for your videos to get more reach. And that's something every small business and big business should be paying attention to.
All right, Gary V. We didn't get to AI today. I did want to talk to you about that. I'll have to, next time, or I'll have to hit you up on social media.
I'm in.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today.